read the translation again. When he became overly blind due to his opulences, King Vena mounted a chariot and, like an uncontrolled elephant, began to travel through the kingdom, causing the sky and earth to tremble wherever he went. Chapter title, The Story of King Vena. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
There is more of you sitting this side than this side. We wish you all a very happy, Krishna conscious New Year. You could have gone to so many places. You came to the home of Shri Radha Gopinath to celebrate it with them. I'm pretty sure they are casting their smiling glances upon all of you, offering benedictions. The story of King Vena. Just to give you a background, there was a very pious king by name Anga. Even though he was very pious, his son wasn't so. Even when he was a little boy, he would go cause suffering to others and take sadistic pleasures. So, King Anga tried to correct him, he tried to punish him, he tried to teach him. But of no use. He tried whatever that he can within his capacity, and finally, he gave up. Normally when we take up something, some task, some activity in our lives, with our best intention, we try to put the efforts to get some results out of it. And at some point we know very well, especially if you are in a kitchen, if you are trying to cook something fast, quick, you turn on everything high, right? Pour more oil, turn on the flames high, and at one point you realize this is taking you nowhere. It is said that retreating back from a losing battle is also part of winning strategy. That's the first lesson we can learn from King Vena. Many times our pride won't allow us to accept defeat. Our pride won't allow us to let go of things. How many of you have this experience that you know that you are fighting a losing battle, but you are still, because of circumstances, too proud to accept defeat and let go? Happens. Many times it happens. So here, Anga, despite being a pious king, despite being a very pure devotee of the Lord, he was faced with a similar situation. He tried. And when he realized things are going beyond his control, that there is hand of Krishna in the situation that he has, he then lets it go. And you will find that similar approach being taken by Parikshit Maharaj as well. Parikshit Maharaj has a very exalted lineage. His father was Abhimanyu, grandfathers are Pandavas. He was personally protected by Supreme Lord Krishna himself when he was within the womb of his mother Uttara, and when Ashwatthama hurled a Brahmastra weapon. At that time, Krishna, taking the size of a thumb, entered into the womb of Uttara and protected him. Because he has seen Krishna, because he was protected by Krishna, he was named as Vishnu Rata, technically meaning one who was protected by the Supreme Lord. But as soon as he was born, because he has taken darshan of Krishna, he used to examine everyone. Is this Krishna? This is not the person. This is not the person. This is not the person I saw. Whole life he spent trying to find the person he had taken darshan of before birth. And that's how his name came to be known as Parikshit, one who examines always. One who is examining everything, everyone, to see whether that is the same person he saw when he was within the womb of his mother. He goes for hunting. One day feels tired, feels thirsty, comes, knocks on the door of a sage, Shamika Rishi, but Shamika was deep in his meditation. He didn't show him any response. Apparently being overcome, being overwhelmed by thirst and hunger, he just picked up a dead snake, garlanded around the neck of Shamika Rishi, and he went away. When the son of the king or son of the sage Shamika, when he came, saw, he at once pronounced a curse that whoever who had actually done this heinous act, they would be killed, having been bitten by a takshaka bird in the next 7 days or 7th day from now. Parishit Maharaj was so powerful. Many times you will come across curses being given, but then when the person suddenly comes to senses and they go fall at the feet of the one who had cursed, you would almost always come across this line in the Shastras that would say, words that went out of one's mouth, they are exactly same as the arrow that left the bow. It cannot be retracted back. I'll come to that shortly. So here, even though Parishit Maharaj knew that it was well within his powers to actually counteract that, he is a devotee. I'll tell you one other story in the scriptures. In Srimad Bhagavatam itself, a story of Prishadra, who was a disciple of Vashishta, who was entrusted with protecting the cows at night. That was his roster service. So he was holding a sword on an Amavasya, ready to protect the cows, which were part of the shed in the Gurukul, but the Gurukul was located in the thick of the jungle. So at night, it was pouring down heavy, and in the flash of lightning, he actually spots a tiger along with its roar. So he realizes the cows are in danger. So he aims, as the tiger slowly walks, crouching, he aims for the neck of the tiger. However, because it was pitch black dark, he mistakes a cow to be a tiger and he ends up chopping the head of a cow. And in the process, he also chops off a part of the ear of the tiger. Tiger gets scared, runs away. But now here he is unintentionally. He had actually killed Gohatya. And now his spiritual master, hearing the roar of a tiger, comes. When he looks at the dead cow, he curses him. You are a Brahmana, you are entrusted with the task of protecting a cow. Look at what you have done. So I curse you, in your next life you will be born as somebody who doesn't know the value of life, somebody who doesn't even understand Atma Tattva, lower than Shudra. So when he gets the curse, he just accepts it, picks up his beads, chants Hare Krishna, goes back to Godhead in the very same life. And he nullifies the curse. Because the condition of the curse is, he'll be born again as a Chandala. But he says only the curse will come into effect only if I take birth again. Fair enough. So he picked the beads, chanted Hare Krishna and went back to Godhead in the very same life. So there are many ways you will come across in the Shastras how any curse can be counteracted. Parishit Maharaj could have counteracted very easily. But Parishit Maharaj also could understand, technically Kali Yuga was supposed to have started the day when Krishna had departed. But Parishit Maharaj was born already. He was such a pious king, he was putting Kali Yuga on hold. Kali Yuga couldn't take its effect. So when this happens, something which is so uncharacteristic of Parishit Maharaj. Same Parishit Maharaj, after getting the curse, you will see, for next 7 days, he doesn't drink any water, doesn't eat any food. He could do Nirjala for a whole year. How could he have succumbed to that apparent lapse of bodily demands? So he understood, this is not how I normally act. Here I have acted, I can counteract and try to right the wrong. But then he also understands the greater plan. And he let go. So retreating back from a battle is also part of a winning strategy. Many times you will get into an argument with a fellow devotee. And the argument will be about Krishna was wearing yellow dhoti today, no, green. We are supposed to make a garland of this much thickness, no, not that much, little less. Prasadam is supposed to be more spicy, no, less spicy. On and on and on. But we have to understand that the purpose of us coming together and doing the service is simply to give pleasure to Krishna. As long as that purpose is fulfilled, it's okay. It doesn't matter who wins the argument. Just accept and move on. Remember this, retreating back from a battle is also part of the winning strategy. So here we see Anga, when he realizes he has maxed out his capacity to teach his son Vena, he accepts that as the will of the Lord, and he then goes to the forest. People of his kingdom wake up one fine morning and they realize the king is there, no more with them. They run around trying to find him, still they couldn't find. And now, knowing very well that the king, or there is no more ruler for the kingdom, the thieves and the dacoits, they started to gain upper hand. So the sages, when they realize that the people are actually suffering, they stepped in. Again, second lesson. Normally, we do talk. We do lot of talking. Problem is, we do only talking. We don't walk the talk. We don't do anything, just keep on talking all the time. Here we can see sages. It's not at all within their job description to intervene in the political affairs. Nevertheless, simply for the welfare of the people in general, they took up this cause of finding a ruler who can replace Anga. And the only option they had was Vena. Now, as the description goes, everyone by then had known about the sadistic character of Vena. There was no other option. But still, the sages decided, much against the advice of the ministers, to install Vena as the king. Again, another lesson we can understand. Many times our mind says, anyway, you wake up, set the alarm at 4 o'clock in the morning. And you wake up and realize it's 5 a.m. What do you think your mind will say? It's okay, you have just slept 1 hour extra, just get up and keep moving. Do you think so? What will the mind say? Anyway, you missed out 4 o'clock. What harm will you do if you sleep for another hour, correct? Suddenly we become the perfectionists. Will you apply the same principle if you go for a job interview? Even things you don't know, you say, I know, I'm good at it. When it comes to Krishna consciousness alone, we take a slightly hypocritical stance there. So here the sages, they realize that the king is not there, there has to be some replacement. All right, a blind uncle is better than no uncle. Prabhupada would often quote a Bengali proverb. So compared to no king, at least somebody has to be there as a king. And you will see, as soon as Vena was actually installed as the king, now the thieves get scared. Why? Because they know the king is more crooked than them and they go into hiding. So it did have its desired effect, but the problem is Vena became more cruel now. Already a person is cruel, along with that he was given this unbridled power which he started to use. Not for the benefit of his people, but simply to propagate his own self-aggrandizement. So as today's verse goes, after he was installed as a king, even though the ministers were against, sages headed by Bhrigumuni, they installed him. And now he boards on his chariot, goes around, and as the next verse goes, here it says, all the twice born Brahmanas were forbidden henceforward to perform any sacrifice. He was so audacious that he was openly proclaiming, beating the kettle drum, that nobody should perform any sacrifice. And as the verses proceed, you will see the narcissist tendency he had. He wanted the whole world to just worship him. Narada Muni says that, if you read Kunti Maharani's prayers, taking a step back, she says 4 things are predetermined. What are they? Louder. Beauty, yes. Anything else? Intelligence, okay. Family, okay. Janma. Wealth, Aishwarya. I think we covered all the four. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri. Four things. Narada Muni says, of these four things, one may be coming from a very high parentage, one may be very wealthy, one may be very beautiful, one may be very educated also. Nahi anyo jushato josyan. Buddhi brahmso rajogunaha. Srimadaadapi datyader yatra stri dyutamashavaha. He says, of the four things by which one can potentially become proud, the thing of these four, Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri. Which of these four do you think is most intoxicating? Is it birth? Is it wealth? Is it beauty? Or is it intelligence? Okay. Beauty, okay. But wealth, okay. Beauty, anything else? Intelligence, no. I think we are all already very humbled in our lives, making wrong decisions. Definitely that can't be the thing. Janma, high parentage, we don't even know our forefather's name, correct? Not many of us know. Grandfather we know. Anyone here who knows great-grandfather's name? Great-great-grandfather? Great-great-great-grandfather? Yeah. But it's still good. You know great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather? Fantastic. So parentage we are not so much interested in. Narada Muni also says, of these four, the one which is most intoxicating is wealth. Because wealth kind of gives one a possibility of doing anything, at least potentially. They think like that. I can do anything with this. Sri Madad. Stri here refers to wealth. Sri Madad api jatyader yatra stri dyutam ashavaha. Once wealth comes, one will go after member of the opposite sex. In this case, it's given as stri, dyutam, gambling, ashavaha or panam, which is wine. Now Narada Muni says this in the context of cursing Manigriva and Nala-Kuvera. Manigriva and Nala-Kuvera, they are sons of Kuvera. Kuvera was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, and Kuvera actually was in charge for the Kailash hill. If you read Brihad Bhagavatamrita, it's given. Even though Lord Shiva, he eternally resides in Sadashiv Loka, in the spiritual world, original Kailash is there. Sometimes he comes down on the request of his devotee Kuvera. So this is his holiday resort. So what we have in material world is his holiday resort. Is simply to satisfy him, Shiva would actually come down and reside in this replica of that original Kailash hill. And Manigriva and Nala-Kuvera, they are sons of Kuvera. Just like, sometimes your spiritual master may visit your home or some senior devotee. And if you have your kids will also get the association of such an exalted personality, correct? Even though they may not aspire, they may not even be willing, but they get it because it's right there in their home. Exactly same thing happened even for Manigriva and Nala-Kuvera as well. Even though they are themselves not so qualified, by virtue of their father being a great devotee of Lord Shiva, they had the opportunity to roam around on the hill of Kailash even during the presence of Lord Shiva. They would go sport on the waters of Mandakini Ganga. So it was on one such occasion when they were playing on the waters of Mandakini Ganga, accompanied by the damsels of the heavenly planet, Narada Muni comes, but they were so intoxicated they didn't even cover their body. So Narada Muni curses them, and before cursing, this is the first thing he says, because you are all intoxicated by so much wealth. If you read this verse, Prabhupada is also mentioning, wealth makes one feel very intoxicated, makes one feel very proud. The problem with pride is, it takes away so many things. It puts us in a position where we'll do things uncharacteristic of us. Have you got this experience? Doing something, thinking, and then later on you regret. Normally, you know what, I will never do this, but I still do. Why did I do? How many of you have that experience? Happens. Because to be proud, to actually act in the position of pride means it's like a fish out of the water. It's not a natural position for us to be in. And because of that, we tend to act in a way which is against our own wish. We tend to act in a way simply to being influenced by the power of the Rajoguna to dominate on others. In 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it's given, when one becomes proud, they offend the devotees. And when they offend the devotees, they lose 6 things. It says they lose not just 6 things, 6 types of benedictions. So it's not normally we think, right, like we offend a devotee and I may lose something which I have. That is okay. But imagine you worked very hard, you struggled very hard to gain something, seeking the blessings of so many personalities, even demigods, even the Supreme Lord. And you accumulate everything. And being in a vantage position, you offend a devotee. Bhagavatam 10th canto says you lose 6 types of benedictions. We have come across 6 types of opulences, correct? Would you like to know how to quickly lose them? Ayu, Shriyam, Yasho, Dharmam, Lokan Ashisha Evacha, Hanti Shreyamsi Sarvani, Pumso Mahad Atikramaha, it's given. Ayu means what? It's not really age, your lifespan reduces. Shriyam, beauty reduces. Ayu, Shriyam. If you look at the demons, have you ever come across a very beautiful looking demon anywhere? Have you ever wondered why do they look always like that? Because of this only. They lose all the beauty. Ayu, Shriyam, Yasho loses fame. Dharmam, one loses religion. Lokan, one loses the benedictions that will qualify them to go to higher planetary system. His Holiness Kadamgana Maharaj says in one class that we are in golden age now, 10,000 years only. In 10,000 years, when you chant Hare Krishna, if you are chanting in this golden age, you can quickly go back to Godhead. However, if you maintain material desires, the result of those material desires is, and you are still chanting, you are still a devotee, but you cultivate material desires. So rather than going to Goloka Vrindavan, you will go to higher planetary system. What do you think is the lifespan of higher planetary system? Or when you go there, what do you think will be your lifespan? It will be longer than 10,000 earthly years, correct? Because there, one day is our one whole year. And they live for 10,000 such years, it's given. So you can calculate it's so much more. Many tens of thousands of years. So Maharaj says there is a little risk. When you cultivate material desires and you chant Hare Krishna, instead of going back to Godhead, you will go back to higher planetary system, but by the time you come down, which you will, golden age would have actually elapsed fully. So we have to be mindful. Ayu, Shriyam, lifespan is going. Shriyam, once beauty goes away. Yasho, once fame goes away. Or conversely, you become infamous. Or conversely, your whole reputation goes away. Ayu, Shriyam, Yasho, Dharmam, religion goes away. You will feel inspiration. I was speaking to one devotee. He visited temple after long years, maybe 4-5 years. And I asked him, hey, I haven't seen you for a while. He said everything was going fine. One day I met a few of my friends. And because I'm initiated, I was feeling very strong. I thought, let me just check out and see how Maya is now. Now that I've actually come to the other side. And he told me it took me 5 years to realize that. Ayu, Shriyam, Yasho, Dharmam, it will go away. You will wake up, you won't feel like a devotee. Lokan, you lose the possibility of going even to higher planetary system. Ashisha. Now, sixth one is even more dangerous. Of all the six, the sixth loss is the biggest loss. Sixth one is says Ashisha. Ashisha means blessings. Now, you may think, already we are materialistic, we do little bit some pious activity, by virtue of that, some blessings come to us. And we may lose everything also, at least blessings will protect us. At least this is what we think. Correct? That guy may be bad, but at least he has done some charity. That guy may be bad, but why only guy? That girl may be bad. But she has actually come to temple and done some service. That Prabhu is actually bad, but it's okay. He has still done something. So we always cling on to that hope that some blessings somewhere will still save us. But when we offend the devotees, it's given Lokan Ashisha Yavacha. Even whatever blessings that you have received will go away. Hanti Shreyamsi Sarvani. Sarvani means we know. Hanti means we know. Shreyamsi also means, Shreyamsi means benedictions. Everything goes away. It kills all your benedictions, whatever that you had accrued until that point of time. When Pumso Mahadatikramaha. When you deal with devotees in a wrong way. So pride puts one in that position. Normally Manigriva and Nalakuver would show respect. Normally anyone in a sane state of mind will respect. And this is why many times this question is asked. It's asked actually also later in Srimad Bhagavatam you will come across. Why is it that devotees of Krishna, let me take a step back. Shiva is Digambara. He doesn't even bother covering his body. He doesn't even have a home. But all the devotees of Lord Shiva, they are very opulent. On the other hand, the devotees are very poor, even though Narayana is actually displaying all his opulences. Why is it so? Without going into the details, principle there is, Krishna won't give us anything that will take us away, potentially away from him. Now, because wealth can actually put one in the position of pride, and where you can potentially, not even potentially, 100%, if you are not properly grounded in our sadhana, 100% will end up offending. There are two things that are given. If you read Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about 20 items of knowledge. Amanitvam, Adambitvam. Amanitvam means that you have something great. Maybe let's say you are a great kirtan singer, or you are a great speaker, you are a great book distributor, you are a great cook. So you have some skill, you have something which is worthy to feel proud of. Understand? And if you feel proud, again you will do some mistake. Amanitvam means somebody having such a quality to feel proud of, but they choose not to be proud. Then it is known as Amanitvam. And Krishna says this is one item of knowledge. In fact, the very first item of knowledge, Krishna says, this is Amanitvam, wherein you have something for which you can actually feel proud. And you choose not to feel proud. Then that is known as Amanitvam. Second one Krishna says, and that is funny, it's a very, there is a subtle difference between Amanitvam and second one is Adambitvam. Adambitvam means you actually have got nothing to feel proud of. And you still feel proud. Understand? Early in the morning, you hold the japa bead, sit in the temple room, and you look at the other person dozing off, and you feel so proud. Don't you sleep? We do. Are we even attentive? Very fact you got distracted by them means you are not attentive, correct? This is Damba. Krishna does open heart surgery. You can read the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The demon and demoniac nature, or the divine and demoniac nature. Divine qualities Krishna covers in just 2-3 verses, and rest of the chapter he focuses on demoniac qualities. Guess why? It's very close to our heart and we have so much of them. Divine qualities only very few. 3 verses Krishna finishes, but then whole chapter he actually says Dambo, Darpo. So pride problem is it puts us in a position where we will act in a way contrary to our nature, and we love doing it because it puts us in the position of passion, and in that position, that's the only way how we'll act. Kalya, after being subdued by Krishna, fearing for his life, all his wives, Nagapatnis, they come and beg to Krishna, Krishna, we are your devotees, so please spare the life of our husband, otherwise we'll be forced to cohabit with other snakes, which we want to avoid. Krishna, taking pity of them, he was looking at them very compassionately because they are his pure devotees. And then Kaliya is also accompanying them. Kaliya at least is very smart. He has been defeated by Krishna and he knows the only way out for him is his wives. So he puts the wives ahead and he goes behind. Krishna accepts all the prayers and they move. Kaliya steps forward, repeats the exact same prayers of Nagapatnis. It's not that this is the first time he was actually hearing about the glories of Krishna. All along his wives have been advising him. This is Supreme Lord, this is our worshipable Lord, don't be so proud, don't be so proud. Pride comes before the fall. If you do this, at one point or the other, it will cause your destruction. But Kaliya, despite being advised so many times, all those advices have always fallen on his deaf ears, except at this particular point wherein he instantly memorized the prayers and he repeated. Why was he able to do at this point and not in the past? Anyone? Okay, he was in trouble. That's a good guess. Anything else? He was full of pride. So what does pride do? Yes? Fall down, okay? Yes, so we are on the right track. I'm just waiting. Last part. Yes, he lost his pride. Because of that, when you have pride, you cannot learn anything. And that's a problem. You will stop learning. Moment Krishna actually took away all his poison, everything, he lost his power. Now he has got nothing and he is taking shelter of Krishna. And now because he lost everything, pride has also gone. Now he has become Shrutidhar. He hears the prayers once and he is repeating everything. And this is danger. Why is it danger? Because even there may be our well-wishers around us. There may be friends around us. Even if they try to advise us, if we are riding on our pride, even those advices will fall on deaf ears. Even our best well-wishers can't protect us because we put ourselves in a position wherein we stop learning completely and we are completely hesitant, restricting others to tell us even something. Have you come across personalities like that in life? Let me be more precise. Have you come across those I didn't ask people to put up the hand, already hands are going up. Put the hand down. Have you come across such personalities in devotional life? If I say Haribol, I know I'll hear a roar now, but we do. So we have to be very, very mindful that we should never stop learning. Many times, if you don't feel like coming and sitting in the class, you don't feel like opening the book and reading, make no mistake, it's just pride. That's coming and stopping us from learning something useful in life. So here Vena, he is now, unfortunately, being influenced by such pride. He would take advice, or rather, the sages would go on attempt to advise him, but it will fall only in deaf ears. Ravana was very proud. How many heads did Ravana have? 10. Each head is for different department. One for fighting, one for music, one for sense gratification. How many of you would like? No? Okay. Of these 10 heads, every head is also has got its brain, very intelligent. Every head is actually telling, let go of Mother Sita. Okay, I've done mistake of kidnapping Mother Sita, let go. 9 heads is saying, only one head was very, very proud and it says, no, you can do it. And that one head caused his death. Opposite of pride is humility. And we come across this so many times. Humility has got its far-fetching effect literally in every aspect of our Krishna consciousness. If you analyze it carefully, when somebody is so proud, they cannot learn anything. If somebody is so proud, they will lose everything. When somebody is so proud, they will offend everyone. When somebody is proud, then they'll always be in Rajoguna, in an agitated position. Humility will do exactly the opposite in all of these situations. Even if you go to a university, you sit and listen to a class, if you go in thinking like, such a boring lecturer, how am I going to kill next 2 hours? Then your learning has already stopped. To learn something, we need to be humble. We need to be in a position where at least we should be receptive, little bit. Humility puts us in a position where we can work to our optimal level. Be it in your chanting, be it at work, be it when you are a student or learning, everyone is a student here. Be it how you deal with others. Humility makes you spiritually intelligent. I was telling this in the youth class recently. Spiritually intelligent means you walk into the room, let's say filled with devotees. You should feel the love. You should feel the spiritual vibes. You should feel the positive vibes. Not like, oh, not that Prabhuji. Oh no, why this Mataji already? And even that one disturbance is actually enough to give you that niggling effect. You know what niggling means? You take a handful of roasted nuts and you think they are nuts and you put in. Everything is nuts except on tiny small stone. Have you got that experience? As long as it is inside your mouth, you cannot actually taste. Now, in terms of proportion, what's the proportion? This is this big. This is Vibhu, nuts. This is Anu, tiny only. But because you have this tiny speck only, but it's there within your mouth, you cannot actually enjoy the potential for spiritual pleasure. Same thing in our Krishna consciousness also, when we do, we need to be spiritually intelligent. Spiritually intelligent means one who will be smart to collect mercy from everyone, including apparently offensive personalities. At least you should have a neutral relationship. If we go around burning bridges, making enemies with the devotees, then whatever we have, first of all, we will lose. And second, the only place where you can find peace is in the temple room. And here you come in and you look at the other person and you feel like, why that person? Krishna, why should that person also come with me back to Godhead? Moro Abhilash. No, I remember this is in 2006. I worked a little late at work. We were racing against the clock to finish our project. So I came like 2 o'clock or something like that. I was staying in Falcon Street. And then I had morning paraphernalia service. So I would come, attend Mangalarati towards the end. I would come, I'll attend Tulsi Arati. So one day I came super tired, very eyes were like completely dry. Vrindaya Tulsi Devaya Priya Kesava Sicha. Varnaka Prabhu was actually leading. I was just like everyone, I was paying obeisances. Only problem was everyone stood up when the kirtan started except me. I'll tell you the timing. And Varanaka Prabhu was having mridanga playing. And one of the devotee, Hemang Chaitanya Prabhu would know. Very few temple devotees would be there at the time. Namo Namaha. And he kicked me, actually. Kick also came in timing, actually. And then later on he told me, I thought you were in ecstasy. I said, like, ecstasy? So early morning you come, Namo Namaha, finish. Whole morning will be done. So we have to be very mindful. Spiritually intelligent people means pure devotees are spiritually intelligent people. They'll always, no matter what, cling on to that humility. In fact, they'll be ruthlessly consistent in staying humble because They know very well that is the only position where you can taste spiritual pleasure. It's impossible. If you are proud, even if Krishna gives you something, you will be disturbed looking at the other devotee. Why is Krishna giving him more? Or many times, even if Krishna gives less, I came early for Mangalarati every single day, I am getting it. Why is that person getting it? Materialistic tendency kicks in. So spiritually intelligent people are those who know how to collect mercy, who knows how to be happy all the time. If you can't be happy, how can you make other people happy? So you can look at personalities in Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many. They'll always find some way to remain humble. Haridas Thakur, Namacharya. He had every right to walk in any temple, nobody would have stopped him, in fact everyone would have welcomed him. But he found a reason. Yes, I was born as a Muslim, he just holds on to that. Normally they don't go to the temple, see, because I'm unqualified, so I'm not going. He just, now you don't imitate it. If you imitate it everywhere. If you use that line to imitate, oh, I'm Haridas Thakur, I'm following in his footsteps, I'm not coming to temple. Then if somebody brings Mahaprasad, learn to say no to that. It's not that like, no, I'm very unqualified for this, but qualified for that. It doesn't work like that. I was telling in last class, I was even sharing the verse in Srimad Bhagavatam that says, whatever spiritual activity you do in the temple, you take 1,000 times the benefit. Literally every day is Damodar Mas in the temple. You can come any time of the day, you come here, you chant one round, that's the same as chanting 1,000 rounds. It's there right in Srimad Bhagavatam. So then one devotee after the class, he was calling me and he said, Prabhu, is it not possible to feel the same amount of spiritual enlivenment or upliftment from my home? I said it's possible if we come to that platform. Then he said, how do we know we come to that platform? Then I told him, imagine you have gone out for service, coming to the temple, asking one devotee to save you, and you tell him, I'm feeling very hungry, please save me some prasad. And you come and the devotee texted you or called you and said, yes, I have saved prasad for you. When you come at Rajbhog time, what will be your normal expectations? One plate full of rice, dal, sabji, potentially everything, sweet, even juice. This is your expectation. And you walk in, the devotee very enthusiastically comes and he says, Prabhuji, I saved a Mahaprasad for you today, straight from the altar, and he gives you one apple. You know where it's going. How will you feel? Yes, it's Mahaprasad. At the best you will say, thank you, Prabhu. But actually within the heart, why did you let me down? Correct? So I told him, how do we know we are in that platform? I said, when that apple that comes, you feel same amount of ecstasy as when somebody had saved you a plate of Rajbhog Mahaprasad. Then I was telling him, when do you think you will come? Oh, Prabhu, that I'll never do. That's why I'm telling you, come to temple. Now you understand. Prabhupada says, temple is like stock market. You know, one place Prabhupada says, in stock market you go, you want to sell a share, there's already a buyer ready. And you want to buy a share, there's already a seller that is ready. So Prabhupada says, like that, temple is like a stock market where, what is the stock exchange here? Mercy of devotees. Bhakti of devotees. So you want to come feel inspired by someone, there will already somebody there. You come here to actually share your inspiration with others, there may be some new people, share it with them. So always we need to find a way to remain humble, because it is at that position we can learn. It is only at that position we will gain back all the other 6 things. If we had and lost it already. Ayu, lifespan will increase. Shriyam, beauty will increase. How many times did Prabhupada comment about that? Prabhupada once, he was going in flight, one Christian pastor had told Prabhupada, Swamiji, all your disciples are glowing. Prabhupada lands in one temple and he says that straight away. If you watch that lecture, Prabhupada says, I was traveling and there was one Christian bishop, Prabhupada says, and this is what he said, and it is true. Because they are thinking about Krishna, Krishna is always giving them everything, including his own beauty. It's exactly, you can visualize it, right? If you have, let's say, a fire or a nice light, you go closer, you will get a reflection on your face. How many of you have come across versions, photos where you say, wow, I look actually like, quite bright. Come on, put your hand up. Others are lying. So it happens. When you go closer to another effulgent source, you will see that reflection coming on you. Same way, when we go closer to Shishi Radha Gopinath, we will find their mercy, their beauty, their pleasure will also rub off on us. Just like Krishna is always happy, that happiness will also come to us. Just like how Krishna is always humble, humility will also come to us. Just like how Krishna is always compassionate and merciful, that quality will also rub off on us. So it's very important that we understand this fundamental principle of humility. Sometimes when we study Shastras, humility, it almost we feel like, it's such a great austerity. Adambitvam only. We actually have got nothing to be proud of. And to be normal, we feel we are actually doing such a big austerity. We don't need to be. Okay, so when we are humble, we gain everything. Ayu, Shriyam, Yasho. Humble devotees are the most famous devotees. Give me examples of humble devotees. What a silly question. All devotees are humble, correct? I'm just checking. Hanuman. He exhibited humility, extreme humility. But there are times when he also has done humongous tasks. Being humble, general thought process is, being humble means it's a position of weakness. No. Being humble is the most spiritually intelligent position to be in. You will always be happy. You go home, you will be pleased, you will be happy. You will have so much time. Otherwise, your mind, you will be sitting in the temple, your mind will be thinking about somebody who actually upsetted you, irritated you. Your lips may be mumbling, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, but your mind will be like, I once asked a devotee, Prabhu, if the personification of your mind comes in front of you, what will you do? And he told me, I'll beat the hell out of him. Mind just goes here, there. We lose a lot of time. I always say this is the ultimate slavery. You have given the control of your life to someone, your happiness, your peace of mind, your spiritual pleasure, now you have handed over everything. Power of attorney is with them. With who? In the hands of your enemies. Correct? Now what do you think is awaiting you? The control, if you give it to people who are not your well-wishers, definitely they will do things to provoke you. But spiritually intelligent person means you don't even have enemies. Ajata Shatru. That's why Yudhishthir Maharaj. So don't be bewildered and don't be misdirected. In magic, they use the term misdirection. They make you look at somewhere and they change something. Don't be misdirected by the apparent austerity in being humble. You can be spiritually selfish. Spiritually selfish means you will be humble. Because that is the only position when you can act in your optimal level. When you can realize your full potential. When you will get the happiness that you seek and you deserve. So it's extremely important to understand. Many times because of how it is actually projected, we read also it feels like something very difficult. No, this is the one that's going to make your life very, very easy. So if you are spiritually intelligent, we are on the first day of 2025, try. Normally we take resolution and we forget within 2 days. This one at least, for your, very confidently everyone is saying yes. This is the spiritually the best thing you can do to yourself, humility. If you are humble, you will learn, you will be rich, you will be happy, you will be beautiful, you will be famous, you can learn a lot of things and you can actually be in a position that you always wanted to be. I remember once I was standing in a book table outside in the foyer, 2006-07. There was one devotee in the reception at the time on a Sunday feast evening. Another guest came. First time, when they were talking, they were pointing at me. Something. I thought like, did I do something wrong? And then, after some time, the devotee in the reception called me. Then I went, and there were like a couple of the devotees also along with the guest. And they said, this guest is saying, of all the people, only you look happy. I said, yeah, I look happy, I am happy. Now we may think we can actually cheat people, especially if you are preaching, or if you are like, little bit senior, means one more day extra. You came one day before, other person comes one day after. It takes only that long for you to feel proud. I am a senior devotee here. And these days, whoever walks in, we put tilak also. Now everyone looks like a devotee, which is good. Once they were in the airport, and one devotee comes and he makes an announcement. So all the devotees, please move to the other side. They are actually going to fix something here. Everyone goes.
Mukam Karativachalam Bangam Langa Tekanim Yapipam Taham Bande